The most deadly Hells Angels war ever within the seemingly peaceful nation of Canada, a deadly conflict is unfolding between two rival biker gangs, the Hells Angels, and the Outlaws led by the cunning hitman Yves Trudeau. The Hells Angels are gaining the upper hand in their battle for supremacy in the criminal underworld. In today's video, we will delve into the gripping events of the Canadian biker wars, highlighting the Lennoxville Purge, the rise of Maurice Bearer, the Hells Angels' alliance with the Rudo crime family, and the devastating war against the rock machine nomads. The Hells Angels gain upper hand. The Hells Angels are winning in their conflict with the Outlaws. The Hells Angels, led by a tough person named Yves Trudeau, are famous for being well-known and having a lot of violent fights. They always try really hard to be the most powerful. The Hells Angels are doing better than their rivals and causing a lot of violence in the Canadian criminal world. Trudeau is leading the Hells Angels with strong tactics, making it difficult for the Outlaws to fight back. The fight for control and land has gotten more intense, with both gangs fighting hard for their territories in a no-holds-barred war. There has been a recent increase in violent fights in Canada, which has worried both the police and the public. The Hells Angels are getting stronger and things are getting more serious. We don't know what will happen next, but there could be more violence. The Lennoxville Purge. The Lennoxville Purge is a well-known and mysterious event involving the Hells Angels. It showed a surprising act of betrayal and demonstrated how criminal groups interact with the police. They decided to get rid of their Lobel chapter because they didn't want the police to notice them. This could have made it harder for the Hells Angels to do their illegal activities and could have hurt their reputation. Yves Trudeau was an important person in the Laval chapter and a top hitman for the Hells Angels. He played a crucial role in this chaotic situation. Without the knowledge of his gang members, Trudeau had already decided to work with the police. He chose to help the police, and because of that they arrested 39 members of the Hells Angels. This really hurt the criminal group. Trudeau, working with the authorities, showed how loyalty and betrayal can be complicated in criminal groups. The Hells Angels thought they were very loyal and close, but Trudeau's actions showed that they actually had weaknesses and disagreements. His willingness to cooperate was a very important moment that helped the police. After the Lennoxville Purge, the Hells Angels were in a tough spot due to inter conflict and the departure of important members. It also made people wonder how much they trust each other, and if there are other people spying in the organization. People were really scared that more police would join and cause trouble. This made everyone feel tense and paranoid. It also caused fights over who should be in charge. Trudeau's help was a big chance for the police to deal a serious blow to the criminal activities of the Hells Angels. They caught many important members, which stopped the gang from doing bad things and made them less powerful in the criminal world. Working well with someone like Trudeau, who has inside information, showed how valuable informants are in fighting organized crime. But Trudeau's choice to work with the police had a big impact on him personally. He put himself in great danger by becoming a snitch for a dangerous gang like the Hells Angels. He could face serious consequences like revenge from his old friends. Law enforcement had to be very careful and handle the process of giving information and intelligence to keep Trudeau safe and secure. The rise of Maurice Bearer. The path that Maurice Butcher took into the seedy underworld of biker gangs exemplifies both the appeal and the perils of this type of criminal society. Butcher had a difficult childhood with a family history of criminal activity, so he had a hard time finding stability and a sense of purpose in his early life. He made some attempts to live his life in accordance with the law for a short time, but the temptation of joining Hells Angels was too great for him to ignore. Butcher, who was captivated by the gang's violent strategies and sense of camaraderie, found himself being sucked into their ranks irresistibly. He quickly rose through the ranks of the Hells Angels by utilizing a strong combination of charisma and ruthlessness, and he left behind a trail of dread and respect as he climbed the ladder. Because of his penchant for micromanaging his followers, he became known as Mom, which is a tribute to the fact that he had a hands-on approach to leadership. Bearer became a formidable force within the gang, one who was capable of making snap judgments after careful consideration. His ascent through the ranks was nothing short of spectacular, and he quickly found himself in a position of authority inside the infamous organization. However, this ascension to power was not without its problems, since competing gangs and internal fights often threatened his authority. Nonetheless, he prevailed over these obstacles and became the dominant figure in the organization. Butcher's reputation and infamy increased in the eyes of law enforcement officials as his influence within the Hells Angels increased, as well as leadership style combined with the violent acts of the gang made him a prime target for Investigations being conducted by the authorities in spite of the unrelenting scrutiny. Bearer was able to maintain his solid hold on authority within the gang, and he remained a dominating figure in the Quebec biker scene. The Hells Angels and the Rosuto crime family. The partnership between the Hells Angels and the Rudo crime family was a very important event in Canadian crime history. The Hells Angels wanted to become stronger in Quebec, so they realized that the Rudo family had a lot of power in the criminal world. This partnership helped the biker gang find new opportunities. The Rosuto crime family was a powerful group involved in illegal activities, especially drug trafficking all over Canada. They were in charge of deciding which criminal groups could operate in their area by controlling the distribution and selling of drugs. The Hells Angels got a big advantage by joining forces with the Rudos. This helped them get into profitable drug markets and be safer from other gangs. This alliance helped both criminal groups work together and benefit from each other. The Rudo family helped the Hells Angels by giving them important things and helping them make connections. In return, the biker gang used their strength and scary tactics to make the Rudo family even more powerful in their criminal activities. The war against the Rock Machine Nomads. The Rock Machine Nomads became a strong rival to the Hells Angels, which was a big problem for the biker gang's control in the criminal world. The Rock Machine Nomads, led by Salvador Caseta, who was a close friend of Maurice Boer, were very involved in the drug business. They had their own big network. Such up the fight between the two gangs got worse, and the streets of Canada turned into violent battlefields. The conflict had many violent fights and attacks with bombing, shootings, and people getting hurt or killed on both sides. Every time someone did something, they quickly got back at them, which made the violence and payback keep getting worse. The Rock Machine Nomads, along with street gangs like the Pellier clan and secret businessmen involved in drug trading, wanted to compete with the Hells Angels' control over the biker scene in Quebec. They were a strong opponent because they were ready to fight and had a powerful network. During the war, the police force had corruption issues that made it harder for them to help effectively. The biker war was a tough test for the Hells Angels and the Rock Machine Nomads. It also showed how difficult it was for law enforcement to handle the violent clashes between these powerful criminal groups. Operation Wolverine and police corruption. The corruption inside the police force makes the investigation and pursuit of justice more difficult for the Canadian police, who are currently involved in the biker conflicts. It is challenging to prosecute the biker gangs because despite the violence and illegal activity, many witnesses are unwilling to help the police to stop the violence from getting worse and bring those guilty accountable. Operation Wolverines started with a mission to bring justice to the victims and their families. Investigator Andre Bouchard is in the driver's seat. Danny, Canaan informant with first-hand knowledge of the Hells Angels operations, emerges as a key figure in the inquiry as the fight intensifies. That's all for the video today. We will be right back with more. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.